This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers, a podcast brought to you by College Recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career, and hosted by Work Defined. Join our AI co-hosts as they dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Let's get your career started.
All right, so let's talk about probably the biggest question facing every new graduate out there.
The thing that keeps you up at night, for sure.
Exactly. When you walk into that first job interview, what actually matters more for your paycheck?
Is it the major on your diploma, the thing you spent 4 years studying?
Or is it the real-world experience you got from, those internships and co-ops?
That anxiety is so justified because the stakes, they're incredibly high.
So for this deep dive, what do we got?
We've pulled together a ton of sources. We're looking at hard data, but also insights from recruiters, HR consultants, people who actually make these hiring decisions.
And the whole mission here is pretty clear, right?
Yeah. We want to unpack the numbers and figure out which one major or experience gives you the best starting salary.
And maybe more importantly, what sets you up for the best career growth down the line.
And, well, if you want the headline right now, the forces are pretty much unanimous.
Oh.
One of these acts as a direct quantifiable income multiplier. It's real lever you can pull in a negotiation.
And the other one?
The major is more like your entry ticket. It just sets your starting position in the race.
Okay, let's jump right into that income multiplier then. The practical experience.
Yes.
Why is an employer willing to pay you, thousands of dollars more just because you worked in an office for a summer? It just seems like a huge return for a few months' work.
It's not really about the work itself. It's about de-risking their investment in you.
De-risking.
Think about it from their side. Hiring a new grad is a gamble. They're pouring resources into training, onboarding, just hoping you can turn theory into, profit.
Right.
But if you show up with internship experience, that risk just plummets. You've already proven you can function in a corporate setting.
You can show up on time. You know how to use the software.
Exactly. You've been test-driven, so to speak.
So that salary bonus isn't really a bonus. It's them pricing in their own cost savings.
That's the perfect way to put it. Recruiters consistently say hands-on experience is one of the top things they look for.
Even more than a perfect GPA.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll often prioritize it over a 4.0 because it's a known quantity. They know you'll be productive faster, and that confidence translates directly into a higher starting offer.
And we're not talking about a small amount of money here.
No, not at all.
The recruiters we looked at said 1 or 2 good internships can boost your starting salary by, $5,000 to $15,000?
That's the range, yeah. $5,000 to $15,000 more than your peers without that experience. And that starts compounding from day one.
That premium is backed up by data too, right?
It is. Graduates with internship experience often get a 10 to 20% salary bump. There was actually a big 2024 study that found students with paid internships.
Yeah.
They received starting salaries a full 20% higher than students who had no internships at all.
20%.
Yeah.
On day one. That could be the difference between struggling and being financially stable right out of college.
For sure. Let's look at that marketing case study. It really puts a dollar figure on it.
Okay, so we had Sarah and Mike, both marketing grads.
Right. Sarah did 2 internships, one in market analysis, one in social media ads. Mike, he worked at a restaurant over the summers.
And the difference in offers was pretty stark.
It was. Sarah was getting offers in the $55,000 to $58,000 range.
And Mike?
Mike's offers were all clustered around $42,000.
That is a $13,000 gap.
And it was purely because Sarah could walk in on day one and start contributing. She could run campaigns, analyze data. Mike needed months of training to get to that same level.
And $13,000 isn't pocket change. That's a year of student loan payments.
Or down payment on a car, yeah.
Yeah.
But the real leverage, the biggest financial advantage, actually comes from something else.
What's that?
It's getting a return offer from your internship.
Yeah.
That becomes what experts call a negotiating anchor.
The anchor. So it sets a floor that every other company has to beat.
Precisely. If you're a new grad with no offers, you're negotiating based on hope.
Right.
If you have a solid offer in your hand, you're negotiating from a position of proven value. Look at the example of Sadie.
Okay.
She interned at Company Y, got a return offer for $75,000.
A great starting point.
A fantastic one. So she interviews at Company X, whose standard offer is $70,000. But she has that anchor.
So she can leverage it.
And she did. She negotiated their offer all the way up to $78,000. Meanwhile, her peer, Ben, same degree but no offer to leverage, he had to take the standard $70,000.
So that one piece of paper was worth $8,000.
An $8,000 difference. And you see this even more in technical fields. The sources mentioned a junior developer who built some internal dashboards during their co-op.
So specific, demonstrable skills.
Exactly. That meant they could skip all the general training. They were put straight onto a high-value client project because the company knew they could handle it.
They weren't paying for the degree at that point.
No, they were paying for a known asset, someone who could already deliver.
So the internship is the immediate money boost. But it's more than just the first paycheck, isn't it? It's like an accelerator.
It's absolutely an accelerator. It can completely change your career trajectory.
How so?
One recruiter told a story about a grad who was a little disappointed with their initial offer. It was only a bit higher than their peers.
Okay.
But because of their co-op experience, the managers saw their professionalism, their confidence from day one.
They stood out.
They stood out.
Life is too short not to work on solving cool problems with interesting people, and recruiting allows us to do both. I'm Brando, host of the Rebel TA podcast, a show where we share stories with people and talent leaders who are on a mission to empower the candidate-employer relationship in the future of work.
So when a leadership track role opened up a year later, they were first in line. Within 18 months, they were earning way more than the peers who had actually started with slightly higher salaries.
So that early experience put them on the fast track.
It completely changed the game for them.
Okay, that's a really compelling case for experience. But let's shift gears. If internships are this powerful income multiplier, does your college major even matter anymore for that first salary?
Oh, it absolutely matters. Profoundly, I'd say. Especially in those first few years.
Okay.
The major sets your starting line. It's a huge signal to employers about your foundational knowledge, your interests. And more importantly, some majors are just tied to roles that pay a premium right out of the gate.
The famous STEM premium. We all hear about it, but how big is that gap, really?
It's vast. I mean, truly vast. Engineering, computer science, certain finance tracks, they command huge starting salaries because companies need those skills.
They're non-negotiable rules.
Exactly. And so graduates in those fields can start, say, 15 to 20% higher than their non-technical peers.
Let's get into some specific numbers because the ones in the sources were kind of staggering.
They really are. You'll see a petroleum engineering grad starting around, say, $90,000.
$90,000.
While an English or history major might be starting closer to $45,000 or $48,000.
And that's double.
It's double. Or a finance major targeting investment banking might start between $65,000 and $75,000. A communications major in a generalist role, maybe $40,000 to $45,000.
That initial $40,000 or $50,000 difference is monumental. I mean, that shapes your entire early career.
It dictates your starting point, for sure. But here's the really important caveat.
Yeah.
The major is your entry ticket, but is not your destiny. Its power is strongest at the beginning, but it fades. Market trends shift. What's hot today might not be in 5 years.
So it sets the starting point, but not the ceiling.
Perfectly said. It dictates where you start, but not how high you can climb.
So you have these technical majors setting a really high bar. But what about, say, liberal arts grads? They have these amazing soft skills, critical thinking, communication. Does that translate to money initially?
Initially. Not really, no.
Oh.
The sources are pretty clear that those skills aren't immediately monetized in the same way.
But they must be valued for something.
They're valued for resilience and adaptability. Skills that pay off later. A tech company will hire the STEM grad for an immediate, provable skill. But a company hiring for, say, a management training program might specifically seek out a humanities grad.
Why is that?
Because they're often better at synthesizing complex information and communicating ideas. They have a different kind of toolkit.
So those skills are, in a way, more future-proof.
Exactly. They're the skills that are harder to automate. The majors sets your starting coordinates, but the experience, that determines how fast you accelerate away from that spot.
Which brings us to what happens next. After year 2,
right,
you have the high starting line from the major, the immediate boost from the internship. But once you're not a new grad anymore, what's the trait that outpaces both of those things?
That's when the whole conversation shifts.
Yeah.
It goes from credentials to competence.
Okay.
We start talking about concepts like job readiness and something called skill velocity. Employers stop caring about what you studied 4 years ago. They only care about the impact you're delivering right now.
Impact. That's the key word. Job readiness has to beat the major, otherwise that salary gap would never close.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
There's a great example in one report about an analyst role. They had an economics major, great grades, but no real work experience. And they had a sociology major who had done 2 market research internships.
And she'd mastered specific skills?
Yes. She knew data visualization, client presentations. She got the offer, even though the economics degree was technically a better fit on paper.
Because she could deliver value from day one.
She could solve business problems immediately. She turned academic knowledge into operational value faster. That speed, that's your skill velocity.
So skill velocity is how quickly you can adapt and learn new things.
Precisely. How quickly can you master a new platform or learn a new coding language? Consultants say that after about 18 months, that's way more important than what your degree was in.
So it's not about the skill you have now, but your ability to get the next skill.
That's exactly it. They've seen philosophy and psychology grads just crush it in fields like growth marketing because they have a high learning metabolism.
A learning metabolism. I like that.
They're just better at mastering complex new systems quickly. And once you reach that point, it all comes down to documenting your results.
Proving your impact.
Yes. Did you increase sales by 15%? Did you automate a workflow? Those measurable results are what truly close the financial gaps.
And they close them quickly.
Very quickly. The sources say high-impact employees who can clearly show their value can see up to a 35% salary increase within just 24 months.
35% in 2 years. Wow.
Yeah. We've seen liberal arts grads who master data analytics actually out-earn engineers who got stuck in a slower growth role.
So after 3 or 4 years, the diploma on the wall starts to matter a lot less.
It's all about your flexibility, your network, your track record. The starting line becomes irrelevant. Your ceiling is defined by your competence, not your credentials.
Okay, let's bring this all together for a final synthesis.
Let's do it.
So to recap for you, internships and co-ops, they are your immediate financial leverage. They're an income multiplier because they reduce employer risk, and they can add $5,000 to $15,000 to your starting pay.
Right. And then you have the specialized technical majors. They give you a much higher starting line, putting you in those top-paying industries right from the beginning.
But neither of those things guarantees long-term success.
No. The real long-term advantage comes from mastering skills that go beyond any single qualification. Things like problem-solving, influence, resilience, and just good old commercial awareness.
That's what determines who really rises to the top.
And who closes those initial salary gaps fastest.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to think about.
Okay.
If your college major is just the starting coordinates on a map that's constantly changing, and the market is evolving faster than any curriculum can keep up with,
then the most critical skill for high earnings isn't the one that's written on your diploma.
It's the ability to master the skill of learning itself.
This has been From Dorms to Desks, job hunting tips for those early in their careers. A podcast brought to you by College Recruiter job search site, which believes that every student and recent grad deserves a great career. Each episode, we dive into tips, tricks, and insights that will help you land your next part-time, seasonal, internship, or entry-level job. Subscribe to this podcast for free now, so you don't miss an episode, and visit www.collegerecruiter.com to find your next great job.